Nothing in your life or our world has gone wrong. Nothing. You just come to understand how brilliant you are at some point. I can say all of this because I do know that, and I'm going to prove it to you today because you are in the world to do something wonderful, and that's why the world has looked the way that it has for all of these years. It was waiting for you to show up so that you could really create something wonderful and love yourself and help change the world. Now, you may not believe that because I didn't believe it either. But I'm going to prove it to you today because I know your value. I know your worth. And I know you might have been a little afraid. You might have thought things were falling apart in the world. And even though I might have said that over and over again, it was challenging for me to believe as well. Because that's the only thing that happens. Our self belief is always not where we want it to be, which is why we want more faith and belief and all of that. So I thought that today I would give you more because I've given you so much already, and actually I didn't do it. It was Wilhelm. When I sat down and started receiving Wilhelm in 1989, I had no idea what it was going to do. I didn't know why I was doing it. I just needed some help. I'm being completely honest and serious. I just wanted help. I didn't know. Then I sat down and I just started doing it. And then I did it every single day because I was going through a lot of stuff. I have moved through more things and difficulties and challenges than any person that I know, and I'm sure there are others who have done something more. But for me, I thought this is never going to change. And now I'm 74, and everything changed. And then I go, why did that happen? And then today, I try to run from myself like you do. And I said, no, you're going to do this today. I'm saying to you as well, because it's you. We're all the same. We're all humans who come to the world to do something, and it's within us, and you have something that's very unique that's within you that's meant to come to the world now, because that's how the world evolves. And so I'll give you things today that you will understand, but I've done so much of it because everything is in your consciousness. I've spent my entire life understanding, learning, and developing consciousness and the techniques and how do we live a better life? How do we become a better human? Because that's what you really want to know. Do I matter? And so I discovered, wow, I do have this, and it's this. How to achieve personal success, healing, and world peace, because you begin to understand that they're all connected. When you decide that you're going to become in love with yourself and move through all that other stuff that did not serve you and do something new, then you bring about world peace. You bring about success for yourself because that is abundance and everything is energy. And you will understand it with this today. And nothing's happening accidentally. Even when I was going to sit down and do this, things came up to make it even so much better for you so that you will understand. And the other reason I'm doing this is that I'm sending this to everyone that I've worked with. First of all the people in my program, first of all, I told them this morning about this, so we had a great meeting, but I'm going to send it to all the other folks, especially the people at Gaia who I've worked with and they didn't understand who I was or what I was doing because I didn't. You don't know either. I'm saying that because whoever we are and whoever we can become, it's always out there. It's just potential, but it's in our consciousness. We're all controlled by our consciousness, or we operate in that way, and then we decide how much we're going to believe. And sometimes it's challenging. It was challenging my entire life, but it was worth it. That's the thing you come to understand. It was worth it. I can sit here now, and I have been through, and it's going to be all documented because I will be doing a documentary or book. I mean, putting all of this into a book because you have to leave something with others for our world to become better. When you discover something and you know that it's going to help someone else, you've got to give it to others. And for me, that was challenging because I'm introverted. I don't want to talk to you. In that sense, I don't want to be out there. So I keep saying that, I love Jim Carrey's line, people don't want to be seen. Well, today I'm going to be seen because I I care about the world too much. And that's the thing that I was fighting my entire life because I knew that. And you'll read it all too because it's so great what you're going to see. But let me show you this first because what I'm going to do is I'll put a link. I'm going to make a link that it's in this description of this video because there are going to be other things. I'll make other links that I'll put there so you could read it all. But I just want you to understand it because whatever you see out there in the world has nothing to do with who you are. I just want you to understand that who you are is someone who came to the world to develop something that's just been within you, and all you needed was a way to understand that and find it. We all do. And so I had to come into the world and find a way and to give it to others, and you'll do the same thing. That's what we all do. But mine was very different. And that made it really extremely challenging for me. And you could be experiencing the same thing. But now you will understand why no matter when this occurs, you've got to become your authentic self. Because I know this for sure, because I can see it, because there's greatness within you. And you hear that all the time, and you may not believe it, but I know that it's true, and now you'll know why I know that it's true. But let me show you this first, because you're going to love reading this. So when I got up this morning, I was told to go to my writings from Wilhelm and look for the word restructuring. Because see, in 2020, that's the first time that word started coming through in my writings, and I knew something was going to be different. I knew the world was going to be different, and we were all focused on, the pandemic and that, but before that, I knew that there was so much more. Now, this is the first message, and it came through on June 26th of 2020. And just before I came to do this video, I'm going to show you something else because I was listening to a YouTube video and they said certain dates that are really important for a Scorpio. And they gave this date of June 26, 2020. And I'll show you the video in a second because you want to go back and check all of this because we think things are happening accidentally, but I'm going to tell you that there's an organization in the universe of energies and planets and all of that, and we're all connected to it. We just figure it out at different times during civilization. And sometimes it's a little difficult. And as you will read in all of this, because the link will be there, you will understand so much more. The more you know, the less you understand. This message illustrates what we wanted to impart to you all. We gave Roger that title, and then we sat here for quite a while before he delivered the message because he wanted to know first where we were leading him. Now, you will understand as you read through all of this, that's what we all do. We have this fear of the unknown. So as I'm receiving this information, and I knew very clearly what was coming, even though I knew others may not have seen it in this way, and I couldn't put it together for you. I'm just saying this because you will develop something within you that's going to surprise you. And then you will see that because we've seen all this stuff happening in the United States, but I was told all of that. Everything that has happened, including this last election, all of it was aligned, energetically aligned to move us to a new place. And I'll explain all of that. But then what happens is I just went through and took out several dates as they came up because there's order. There was an order that I received in the order that I could understand it and accept it, and the same thing for you. So then later, to bring us more awareness, you are in the process of being restructured. First of all, this message has been decades in the making for Roger and you. What they're saying is that we each have something that we resist, that we don't do as humans, as we live now, but also as our civilization. That's what we're really talking about. And so then you go to the next message. They're not in order. They just told me to go to 2020 because I knew that I had received so much then. And then eventually you will come to understand yourself and you will be pleased with the results. That's that journey of self-discovery that so many don't want to do. But I'm telling you, when you move through it, it's beautiful, and Wilhelm has given us, when I talk about this, I say an ascension guide. People say, well, what is that? It means when you come to understand how brilliant you are, and it's a process you move through in your consciousness. And our world does the same thing. Your intolerance can serve you. Because we had to acknowledge first that we have been intolerant and we were really angry. And we have to ask, why are we angry? What are we trying to get to? That was given as well. And I just discovered that yesterday because That's why I wrote the book on fear, because fear will control us in so many ways. Anyway, so you will see that this will take you through a journey. And even though this are different dates, different times, they came through Wilhelm, you will understand it because we're all doing the same thing. Now, and then what, I'm just going to show you another one. Um, Please become your real self now. If you could just take that and look at yourself and just think about that, why would you want to be anyone else? It's because we haven't learned who we are. We haven't accepted our authentic selves, and I hadn't either, even though all of this came through. And you will see, this is why they say I'm the best teacher, because everything that you've done that you haven't believed, I didn't believe it either, and then I'm being given the proof to bring to everyone else, because I know that if we did this, it would lead to world peace. See, that's the part that I couldn't say that before, but I can see it now. But also, when you, all the information I was given, all the conditions that are happening, all the wars, the world events, all of that stuff I was given, it's an energetic shift that we're all moving through. Okay. Now, you cannot have the autonomy you desire while needing others to agree with you or validate your choices. And I have lived under that for so long, and so many of us have, and this is the time in your life that you're meant to move beyond that. You're meant to understand how important you are, how valuable you are, and it's a process. And again, it just kept going on. You are causing the world to evolve, and when you get that, it's the only reason. And they gave us a message. You'll see that they gave me so many, and they took me a long time to write, because they would say, if you don't think you're causing the world to evolve, then you haven't figured out how important you are. That's all of us. But that's, again, in consciousness. Why would one person be more important than the other? No reason, except we have used things over time to control ourselves, and we've allowed others to do that. And I'll show you that message as well. So those are the messages there. Then there was something else that came up. I was listening to this video, and whatever we think things are happening accidentally, but I tell you, I'm just sitting here and I'm just thinking, I'm going to record this video, and this Nostradamus video comes up about Scorpio, which is what I am, and that's come through in several of the Wilhelm channeling sessions. It's because I can never let anything go. I have to understand things. I've always been the detective. I've got to know, why is something happening, and I don't like conspiracies. You'll read that as well. It's just because just because we don't understand something, then we will make up something that just doesn't cause our lives to become any better, or our world. And that's what's gone on. And so we came to change that by bringing a truth that is within each person, and that's what you're here to do as well. So there was another date that came up in this video. It's called, let me show you the video. You might want to look at it. I don't know. I'm just going to give you the cover if you want to look it up, or I'll leave the link. Okay, this is just going to be fun. We're not going to all believe in the same things, but if you go and find this one, this will cause this to come together, and you may not believe in accidents so much, because again, I didn't know I was going to listen to this video. You've done the same thing. You've gone someplace, and all of a sudden you're being awakened to something that you didn't even know why you were doing it. And but I just want you to see the cover if you care to find it, because I'm going to show you another message that they alerted me to today. And so it's this. It's called about Scorpio. Nostradamus forecast 5 dates that will shift your future. Are you ready? Well, usually not, but we're never ready. And so there was another date that they gave me that's for everyone, because it came through me. But they said, when Venus moves into this and to, okay, then what was that? What did Wilhelm give me on that date? And I will show you that. So this one will be a real help for all of you, because it said when I moved into my sign, there would be some power that would come through. And so they say October 23rd. Now, Wilhelm told me last year that all the things that they had given us would be relevant. They gave us in 2023 this year. I said, that doesn't really make sense. But somehow this year I sat down and did this, because it was October 23rd. And this is on the website. You can find it on anyadvicefortoday.com, because Wilhelm wanted us to understand again how things progress over time. And it is this. I had no memory of this until just a while ago when I heard that video. There is order in the universe, and I can speak to that as well. And so then we go back in 2008. There was an energetic change. In that particular video, if you happen to listen to it, it talks about how Scorpios are usually by the moon energies. And any of you know I've always done Wilhelm channeling sessions on a new moon or full moon or some other galactic change. Okay, and this one will just give you so much help. You just read through each one and just study them. Okay, difficulty is merely a label you have placed on something you have given yourself to achieve your goal of evolvement. I mean, just think about that. All of these are going to start to change your mind. And that's what came up from this one. And there was another video, there was another information that came up. You'll have all of this in the description, but you can find that on the website anyadvicefortoday.com. But there was another date that came up, and I want you to understand it. But when you have this entire document, you will begin to see how you will change your brain, and you'll start to know how wonderful you are and what you came to the world to offer, because everyone has that. And my job obviously was to be able to bring in a new philosophy. When I say that, it's like, how could I have done that? I didn't know I had done it. You don't know what you've done either, because it was a process that I've been doing for more than 35 years. However, I know that it'll change your life. And anyone who does it, you start to evolve, and then we have a world that looks quite differently. Now, everyone's not going to believe that. That's why we have not changed. That's why Wilhelm gave us the other message the other day. Utopia is attainable. But we'll think of that and we'll say, no, it's not. Just like I thought everything that I have done with this work was impossible, and it's changed everything, and I know it'll do the same for you, because you have those abilities and those skills. So just one more I want you to see, because it just surprised me that it came up today. Now, when I'm receiving information from Wilhelm, I have no clue as to what's going on with the planets I have no clue. All I'm doing is receiving information. I'm just getting downloads. And so when I listened to that video that I just showed you, the Nostradamus one, they said, well, Scorpio would come into their real power where they could do something when Venus moved into Scorpio. I don't know. They gave me the date. And so I said, oh, January 21st of 2019. Let's see what that said. And this is for everyone, because I'm just bringing in my life to help everyone else, and you're going to understand this for yourself. You always knew who you wanted to be. You and every soul who reads that sentence will acknowledge it as being true. But then what happens is you move through your life learning to doubt that could be possible. We will use you as an example. Years ago, you constantly used the term or phrase, you knew before you came. Then you began to think you knew what that might be, couldn't accept it entirely, and then stopped using it in an effort to no longer hear that calling. Now you go through your life behaving, thinking, and taking certain actions that seem to almost be demanded of you. That is you remembering who you knew you could be. You all would do well to believe that you did know who you could be and do that. And that is absolutely true for every single person. And that is what Wilhelm has given me. That's what this work is. And that's what I'm laying out now. I'm saying this because I've told everyone I'm finally putting out the entire work. And then by next year. And so I just met with a marketer, someone who's going to help me put this out and do a lot of advertising and the whole bit. Because next year it's going to be a lot more money, because It should have been a long time ago. I'm being completely honest here because I needed to know that this was something that was going to change lives and change our world, and I know that it will. I just didn't finish it because it kind of surprised me what was happening. What you become and what you can uncover will surprise you. It has to. That's why you were born. But now is the time to do it. And so that's why I wanted you to have this today. So please check out my work. Subscribe to this channel if it's your first time here. But you will see that anybody can do this. You can achieve anything. And right now we've set this up in a way that anybody can afford it. You're just not seeing it all there, but in the beginning of the year, you will. And you have everything you need to create the life of your dreams. And I know that my life was just meant to create a path to give it to you. See you soon.